Housing in Canada has been in crisis for years, and the Liberal Party, under Mark Carney, just unveiled a bold plan to tackle it. But does it hold up under scrutiny? Let's break it down. I just want to explain before we get into this why this matters. Affordability has gotten insane in the last 10 years. I just happened to get lucky in this. When I got my first career, I just happened to have a parent that happened to understand that it was going to cost the same in rent as it was to pay a mortgage. So thankfully enough, she redirected me to that path to get me to where I am now. But for many Canadians, they did not have this option. They don't understand it because we're not taught about how housing works. Right now, we have a shortage because we've brought in a bunch of immigrants to help support our economy, help get things going. But now we don't have the houses. Demand goes up because we haven't been building houses, mainly because of the red tape that has been prevalent in our country for the last 10 years. We've tied up the ability to just go out and build these homes by making sure we do surveys on top of surveys on top of surveys and expecting the companies to bear the cost of this. Well, the government is waiting for a yes or no. So this impacts everything. If we can't build houses, we can't keep up with the demand of the supply. Basic economics. If there's not enough supply for the demand, then the supply ends up being costlier. Welcome to our housing unaffordability crisis. And on top of that, we're bringing back people to central hubs for no fucking reason, right? Like, nobody seems to understand why companies are bringing workers back when there's not enough room in these cities for people, driving up the costs. Do you see some problems here? We all know that housing unaffordability has become a very big problem in this country, especially over the last 10 years. Some people got lucky, others did not, and now we're all left with this shortage that has come. And it's our own problem that we have this shortage. Our government, for the past 10 years, has been tying our builders' hands, waiting on surveys and retrospects and all these documents to be processed by our government that doesn't have the resources to do this because they're taking on work that they're not qualified to do and stopping our progress. So right now, the Liberals have come out with a plan to address this issue, and I'm going to go through with you how it's going to impact our lives. Their first goal is to double housing construction and build 500,000 new homes annually over the next 10 years. Sounds ambitious. Where are they going to get the labor, materials, and the funding to do this? Especially so quickly, because we don't need this tomorrow. We need this now. Like now. The second key part of their plan is a new initiative called Build Canadian Homes, BCH. You know what? I gotta say this. Being in the government, we had a saying. The government loves TLAs, and that really means three-letter acronyms. So yes, they've brought it down to BCH, Build Canadian Homes. Canada Homes? Same fucking shit, different fucking package. A new federal entity. Oh great, more bureaucracy. Love that one. To act as a developer, building affordable houses on public land. Why is the government getting into building? Invest $25 billion into prefab home builders using Canadian resources like timber. Provide $10 billion to low-cost financing for affordable housing projects. Where the fuck is $25 billion coming from? Like, this plan doesn't explain the sources of it. Can we have, like, where you're getting $25 billion? Because that sounds like more tax. Yeah, Carney, hey, is this more tax? I'll just back up for a little bit there because I like the idea of prefab homes right now, especially to like grow our economy. It's great to build them in a factory and plop them to where they need to go. Are we getting past the red tape of where we're getting this land to put these things? And on top of that, are these going to be like starter homes? Like, are we going to classify them as anything? Are these going to be forever homes? Can we get a little bit more details on that? Also, shout out to Boxable because that's dope shit. All these companies making these tiny prefab homes all over the world. Holy crap. It is amazing what we can do nowadays. And you can literally put a home anywhere in Canada. Just buy a plot and fly it in now. Yeah. Did you hear that? You don't have to live with our society anymore. You could just buy a plot of Canadian land and live on it. Life goals. All right, now let's go into 3, getting into the good stuff. Cutting the red tape. Measures to streamline housing construction. So they're gonna reduce municipal development charges by half, okay? Reintroduce tax initiatives from the 1970s to encourage rental housing. These are rental developments, like people aren't going to get to own these. Convert existing buildings into affordable housing. Great. Are we going to say, like, let's kick the return to work initiative and turn office buildings into affordable housing? Because that sounds like a good idea. Sorry. Sorry, just crickets? Come on, Carney. Simplifying restriction zones and reduce bureaucracy. I'd like a full plan on how you want to reduce bureaucracy. Please, like detailed, formal, let me run it by my people and I'll tell you if it's decent. And I'll run it by a few, let's open source it. Actually, let's open source it and let's community source a better reduction of bureaucracy. How about that? Can I propose that? Is that a thing? Also, how is this going to impact municipalities? Like, they have to stay financially stable too, so you're cutting their revenue. You're still on the right path. Still on the right path. So, 4. Tax cuts. More tax cuts. GST will be eliminated on homes under $1 million for first-time home buyers. Pretty sure the Conservatives have the same plan, but okay. This is helpful in smaller markets, but cities like Toronto and Vancouver, how many homes are realistically under $1 million? I'll give an example. Like, so let's take Toronto. In this little area here, Toronto, it's our central hub. This is where you're getting in the multi-million-dollar homes because everybody wants to be in Toronto. You know, like it's the social hub, it's the central hub. We fly there, everybody goes in and out of there. Right there, you've just cut out a bunch of homes that people can't get. And then you go even further than that in this larger area. And that's what's called the GTA. And guess what the home prices are in the GTA? Okay. This greater Toronto area, GTA, is getting more expensive. So here's your $1 million homes. So you've just phased buyers out of this. So you need people, young individuals, to come in and do your service industries, clean your hotels, do all these things, but yet they have to live 3-4 hours away in order to afford this, to go to work. Do you see some issue with just building more houses around the area? Like, you've just made it harder for employees to get to where they need to be. I'm not trying to poke holes, but they're just blatant holes. Let's acknowledge the positives here. It's encouraging to see the government with a comprehensive plan with partnerships in industry and tax cuts. My questions arise though is like, will this government, like, where's this government funding coming from? How are you going to execute? To me, you're saying, oh, we're going to give tax cuts, but then where are you getting the money from? Because you've already told us you're not reneging on Bill C-69, which pipelines like, hey, that's how we're going to get money. Especially right now, we're not fully renewable. We want to be, but unfortunately we have to use fossil fuels to get us there. So you already made plans that like, you're not getting money there. You're not removing the industrial carbon tax, which is the chunk, like the biggest chunk of our fucking carbon tax. I don't think people understand that. Like our industrial side is why we pay so much on our goods. So you're not going to remove that. And probably, I'm hearing you're going to increase that. So cost of goods are going to go up. Just warning here, people, but you're not going to touch that. So where are you getting the $25 billion? Where does it come from? On top of that, are we going to get to see who's getting these deals? Because if I'm not mistaken, Brookfield's in the management of housing, is it not? At least in 3 out of the 4 countries that you work in, although I'm pretty sure there was a 4th company or country right in Toronto. Because, yeah, I know about those condos in Toronto, those affordable housing in Toronto. Yeah. Let's talk about that, Carney. All right, so to me, this just seems like an old plan with a new face, and not even a new face because he's been there the entire fucking time. Like, are we literally gonna let 3 kids in a trench coat fucking parade around as a prime minister in our country? Like, he's not even prime minister. He's already coming out and like parading. I know he's prime minister, but he's already coming out and parading like he's won this fucking election. Doing shit we're not asking for. Just be truthful. Tell us what you fucking are gonna do. Give us a full comprehensive plan of how you're going to do it, because I guarantee you I've gotten that from the Conservatives and I've gotten that from the NDP and we're getting that from the Green Party. So where's yours, Liberals? Where's your plan? Something that actually regular people understand, something that can like be discussed and diagnosed and researched and looked up. You know, a plan. What a plan's supposed to be. Well, that's all the time we have for today, weirdos. So take care, subscribe, like, and comment on the way out if you're up to it. Have a good day.